Warm welcome to all of you. Today I am going to give a lecture on bisection method. So this method is very simple. This method is very simple method for solving nonlinear equations. So what is a bisection method? So this is similar to binary search method where just every time, suppose there is an interval, and each and every time we take the half of the interval. Suppose this interval will be chosen and this interval will be discarded, and again in this interval we will choose one, suppose the middle one, and let us suppose choose this one. Based on certain conditions we will later tell about these conditions, and we will discard this one, and in this way this interval will be narrowed down. So this is a way to solve a nonlinear equation. So what is a nonlinear equation? Nonlinear equation, or we can say the polynomial equations, nonlinear equation. Or suppose the equation is like this: x cubed plus 2x plus 5. So this is a nonlinear equation where there is a power of x or y. That is, only here only one variable is present. So bisection method is the simplest method for solving the nonlinear equations or transcendental equations. Transcendental equations. Transcendental equations. So what are the transcendental equations? The equations like logarithmic equations or trigonometric equations like involving sin x or cos x or like this. So these are called the transcendental equations. Now let us go to the main topic, which is the bisection method. So let us come to our point. So suppose there is an equation like this. Let us take an equation which shows, which can be represented graphically in this way. I am drawing. It may be not that good. Suppose this is our x-axis, this is our y-axis, and the equation looks like this. Okay, this is a polynomial equation, and we have an interval a and b. So suppose this is a, this is b, and this point is f of a, and this point is f of b. So as we can see, f of a is positive in nature and f of b is negative. Now we have to again narrow down the interval with certain conditions, and we have to find another point c, and now we have to find one value, that is one root of the equation, which is the value of x, which we will call the approximate root of the equation. So that x, that value of the x, which will be the closer to the actual root, will be our solution. So what the bisection method does? The bisection method finds the approximate root of the equation. So approximate root, this numerical method, all the numerical methods are for finding out approximation or approximate answers. Okay, so I'm illustrating this bisection method with example. So let us take an example of a function f of x, which is equal to x cubed minus 2x minus 5. The interval will be given to you. The interval where or in which the root lies, is 2, 3. So that is given to you. So we have to find the approximate root of the equation or of fx basically using bisection method. So as the name implies, bisection means we will half the interval at each and every iteration. So using bisection method. So, okay, as I have shown you in the graph previously, I am drawing again. As I have shown you in the graph that one is f of a, another is f of b. And you just see that f of a is positive, f of b is negative. This condition will hold for bisection method. So in this way, when it is given that the root lies in the interval 2 and 3, it will obviously be that either f of 2 will be positive and f of 3 will be negative, or f of 2 will be negative and f of 3 will be positive. So in this case, what is f of 2? F of 2 is 2 cube minus 2 into 2 minus 5. That means this is 8 minus 4 minus 5. That means minus 1. So that is negative. Another thing, what is f of 3? F of 3 is 3 cube minus 2 into 3 minus 5. That means 27 minus 8 minus 5. That means it is 16. This is equal to 16. So just we can see that this one is negative, this one is positive. So the root lies between these two consecutive numbers 2 and 3. See, the numbers should be consecutive. The interval should be of two consecutive numbers. Okay. So in this case, f of 2 is negative and f of 3 is positive. Now, we have to find a middle point. So our interval is suppose like this. That is 2, that is 3, and we have to find the middle point C. We have to find a middle point C. So let me first delete these portions. Sorry. Let me delete this. So how we can find the middle point C? Exactly, we have to find the middle point C. So what is it? Just we have to find C. C as like this. C is equal to A plus B by 2. So in this case, our A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3. So A plus B by 2 means 2 plus 3 by 2. That means 2.5. Now we have to find out what is f of c. That means what is f of 2.5. So in what was our equation? Our equation is x cube minus 2x minus 5. So in place of x we put 2.5. So it is 2.5 whole cube minus 2 into 2.5 minus 5. That means 2.5 whole cube minus 2 into 2.5 minus 5. So if you calculate, it will come as 2.625. Now we have to check whether this is positive or negative. As we can see, this is obviously positive. That means greater than 0. So here now we will talk about the conditions. That is how we will update our interval. That is which interval, as we have already said, that the interval will be narrowed down by half each and every iteration. How we will choose the interval? So here lies our steps. So I am telling you the steps of bisection method. First, we have to find out f of a and f of b, and we have to calculate f of a into f of b, f of a into f of b. Now let me write down here. If so, this should be, we have to first calculate this thing, that is what is f of a and what is f of b. If f of a into f of b is less than 0, that is if f of a into f of b is less than 0 means 1 is positive, that is either f of a is positive, that is 1.1. If f of a into f of b is less than 0, what does it mean? That is either f of a is positive and f of b is negative, or f of a is negative and f of b is positive. Then that is f of a and f of b are of different signs, right? If this holds true, then we say that the root lies between a and b. The root lies between a and b. Okay. Now what is our step 2? Step 2 is we have to find a new value c, that is the middle point, exact middle point of a and b, that is a plus b by 2. Now we have to calculate f of c. Then we find f of a into f of c. If f of a into f of c is less than 0. So what does it mean? That means f of a is, that means the signs of f of a and f of c are different signs. That is either f of a is positive and f of c is negative, or f of a is negative, f of c is positive. So if f of a and f of c is less than 0, that means both are of different signs, then we update b is equal to c. Okay, that is an important step. Otherwise, if f of c into f of b is less than 0, that is, then f of c and f of b are of different signs, then we say that, then we update a as equal to c. Okay, and in this way we iterate until, so when we have to continue step 2 until we find our root. Now one thing is there. So let us take step 3. Let us write down step 3. What is step 3? Step 3 is, if f of c is equal to 0, we say that if f of c is equal to 0, we say that c is the root of the equation. Okay. Otherwise, we iterate. Otherwise, we iterate and follow step 2. We iterate and follow step 2. So, how much iterations we have to do? We have to do this iteration, that is, we have to stop when the interval is very short. We will define what is short. Short is actually vague term, but the difference between these two numbers, that is A and B, is very negligible. Then we will stop. Okay, so these are the steps. We have to follow these two important steps, that is, if f of A into f of C is less than 0, then we update B as C, and if f of C into f of B is less than 0, then we update A as C. We have to remember these things. Okay. So, now let us go to the example and we will see how to solve bisection, how to solve the equation, or how to find out the approximate root of the equation using our bisection method. Okay, now just let us recap this. What we have already calculated, f of 2 is -1, f of 3 is 16. That was our given interval. And we found a new parameter c, which is equal to 2 plus 3 divided by 2, that means 2.5. And we already calculated f of c as 2.5 whole cube minus 2 into 2.5. This is 2.5 minus 5. So this is 5.625. So now as per our steps, what we have already told you, we have to check whether f of A into f of C, that is, our A is 2 and our C is 2.5. So f of 2 into f of 2.5 is less than 0 or greater than 0. So as we can see, f of 2 is -1 and f of C means f of 2.5 and f of 2.5 is positive. So f of 2 is negative, f of 2.5 is positive. So this is equal to -1 into 5.625 minus 1 into 5.625. That means this is a negative number. So, what we have already told you, if f of A into f of C is less than 0, then we update B as C. So, our new B is 2.5. Okay, now you see that previously our interval was 2 and 3. Now, our interval becomes this. That is, only this portion becomes our interval. And this portion, that is 2.5 and 3, that is this portion, that is 2.5 to 3, this portion becomes, this portion we will discard. We will discard this portion. So only this portion now we have to consider. So our A is 2 now and B is 2.5. Okay. So next we have to again do the same thing. That is, now this is our iteration number 2. So what is our new C? New C is 2 plus 2.5. That is A plus B divided by 2. That means 2.25. Again we have to calculate f of C. That means f of 2.25. So 2.25, f of 2.25 means 2.25 whole cube minus 2 into 2.25 minus 5. That means if I do the calculation, 2.25 whole cube means it is 11.39 minus 4.5 minus 5. So it will be 1.89. Okay. So what was our A? Our A was f of 2. So f of 2, we already know f of 2 is minus 1. And now our f of C, that means 2.25. F of 2.25 is 1.89. So if we multiply again, if we do the multiplication again, that is f of 2 into f of 2.25, it will be minus 1 into 1.89. So this will again be 0. Okay. So again we update this. So what will be the value of A now? A will be as it is 2. B now will be, it will be now 2.25. Okay. So it will be now, sorry, just let me write it down properly. Let me write it down properly. So our B will be, sorry for the interference. So our B will be, our B is 2.25. Okay. So see how our interval is getting narrowed down. Now, what we have to do this iteration again. So now we start with our iteration 3. So at iteration 3, our A is as it is, that is 2. B has now changed as 2.25. So we have already seen f of A is minus 1 and f of B is 1.19. That is f of 2.25 we have already calculated, that is 1.19. So now we have to again calculate C, that is 2 plus 2.25 divided by 2. That means 2.125. Now we have to again calculate f of C. So what is f of C? F of C means f of 2.125, that is you just put the value of x, a value of x which is 2.125 in the equation, and I am not doing the calculation thoroughly. So it will be basically 9.545. You just check the calculation. 9.545 minus 4.25 minus 5, which will be equal to 0.295. Okay. So what you see? F of A is minus 1 into f of C, which is also a positive number. So f of A into f of C is less than 0. So again we update our B as C. So C is 2.125. So now our interval is 2, 2.125. That means the root lies between 2 and 2.125. So we again do iteration 4. We do iteration 4. So our A is as it is, B is now 2.125. So what is our C now? C is 2 plus 2.125 divided by 2. That means, uh, sorry, it will be 2.0625. Okay. And if we find out f of c, which is f of 2.0625, it will be, the value will be minus 0.34. Now comes the negative value. So just you see, our f of a is, as you can see, our f of a is -1 and f of c is negative. So f of a into f of c, f of a into f of c, that means f of a is -1, f of c is minus 0.34. So this is a positive number. So now we will check what is f of c into f of b. So what is f of c? F of c is a negative number, that is minus 0.34. And what is our f of b? F of b already we have calculated. F of b is a positive number, that is 1.89. So if we multiply this, that is a negative number and a positive number. So now it will be 0, less than 0. So what we can conclude now? Our A is now changed to C. That means our A is C, which was basically 2.0625. Okay. So A is now 2.0625. So as we just have seen, A is equal to now 2.0625, B is 2.125. So our f of a we have already calculated, that is negative number minus 0.34, and f of b is 0.294. So at iteration 5, we find again a new C, that is 2.0625 plus 2.125 divided by 2. That is equal to 2.09375. So what is our f of c? F of c is f of 2.09375, and if we calculate this, that is 2.09375, that is, we are putting this value into our equation, that is whole cube minus 2 into 2.09375 minus 5, it will be minus 0.0089. So again f of c becomes negative number. F of a is already negative, f of b is positive. So our f of b into, sorry, this one, that is f of c into f of b. F of b is negative, sorry, f of c is negative, that is my negative number 0.0089 into f of b, this is a positive number 0.295. So multiplying a negative number with a positive number becomes a negative number, so this is becomes 0. So what will be now value? What will be our value now? What will be the value of a? A will be now changed as C. So A will be equal to C, the updated A, and the value will be 2.09375. A will be 2.09375. Our B will be as it is, that is 2.125. So we have to now do iteration 6. So at iteration 6, we now find our new C. We now find our new C as 2.093375 plus 2.125 divided by 2. So the new value of C is 2.1094. 2.1094, and we have to calculate f of C, which is f of 2.1094, and if we put this value in our equation, that is, it will become 2.1094 whole cube minus 2 into 2.1094 minus 5, so it will be 0.1671. So f of C is now a positive number. We see our f of A is a negative number and f of C is a positive number. F of A is a negative number, that is minus 0.0089, and C is a positive number, f of C, that is 0.1671. So multiplying a negative number with a positive number will obviously be a negative number, that is less than 0. So now our A will be changed as C. So C is now 2 that is A is now C, which is 2.1094. B is as it is, that is B is, I'm sorry. So in this case, as f of A into f of C is a negative number, so what we will say, A will not change. Now B will be changed as C. So B will be 2.1094 and A will be same, which is 2.09375. So our new interval is 2.09375, 2.1094. See, still our interval is not too short. That is, until there is the difference between these two numbers, that is A and B is suppose less than, suppose it is less than 0.001 or like this, then we will stop, okay, or a negligible value, then we will stop. So we have to proceed to iteration 7. We are now, so at iteration 7, we just see that our A is this 2.09375. So corresponding f of A is a negative number and B is 2.1094 and f of B is a positive number. So we now find out our new C as A plus B by 2, that means 2.09375 plus 2.1094 divided by 2, that means 2.1016. So if I calculate f of C will be f of 2.1016, that means 2.1016 whole cube minus 2 into 2.1016 minus 5, that means 0.07898. So f of C is a positive number. We see that f of A is a negative number. So if we multiply f of A into f of C, that is f of A is a negative number, which is minus 0.0089 into 0.07898, that is f of C. Multiplying a negative number with a positive number becomes obviously a negative number, which is less than 0. So A will be as it is. So now our A remains as it is. So A is 2.09375 375. B is changed as C. So our new B is 2.1016. So we now go to iteration 8. So at iteration 8, A is 2.09375, B is 2.1016. So f of A is a negative number, that is minus 0.0089. F of B is a positive number, that is 0.07898. Okay, so we now calculate C, which is 2.09375 plus 2.1016 divided by 2, that is equal to 2.0977. See, the interval is getting reduced at each and every time. So now our f of C is 2.0977 whole cube minus 2 into 2.0977 minus 5, which is equal to 0.0352. So we again see f of A is a negative number, f of C is a positive number. So f of A into f of C, which is f of A is a negative number, f of C is a positive number. If we multiply both, so it will be 0. Less than 0. So again A will be as it is. So A will become 0.09375. It will remain as it is. B is changed as C. So C is now 2.0977. So we now have to move to iteration number 9. So at iteration 9, we find our A remains as it is, that is 2.09375. B is 2.0977. So our f of A is negative, that is already we have seen, and f of B is positive, that is 0.0352. So now we find out a new C, which is 2.09375 plus 2.0977 divided by 2, which may be equal to 0.0947. So if I now find out f of C, that is 2. Sorry, it should come as 2.0947, or might be a bit different from this. Please check the calculation, but this is the process. So f of C is 2.0947 whole cube minus 2 into 2.0947 minus 5. So if I do the calculation, it will be, the value will be equal to 0.0017. Now you check that these values are almost equal. That is the interval, that is A, whatever A is 2.09375, B is 2.0977. So the difference between these two numbers are very less, that is 0.004. So that is very negligible number. So we now can stop, and as we have found that f of C is 0.0017, that is approximately 0. So we now stop and we say that our new root, or the approximate root is 2.0947. So this is how we calculate the approximate root using bisection method. So thank you very much for your patient hearing.